Welcome to the RV interview of the week. And more and more RVers are caravanning or traveling in groups as part of a guided tour. If you've ever wondered what it's like, our interview of the week will give you a real overview of it all.
Our special guest is Stacy Raybung, and she's the operations director of Fantasy RV Tours. They're one of the oldest and most popular organized guided RV tour groups out there. They run caravans all across the world. So, without any further ado, here's Stacy. So, Stacy, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Mike. How are you?
I am great. I'm great. So, a lot of people have been writing us and asking us about these fantasy RV tours. Of course, Jennifer and I and a group of our followers are about ready to do one of your tours in the Canadian Maritimes later this summer. Explain to people how a guided tour works. What are they like?
Well, a guided tour is basically, if you could think about taking a cruise on land in your own RV. We are going to provide the entire itinerary for you. We're going to make all the reservations for you. We make all the bucket list item reservations for you. Going to make sure you see everything. Going to provide some bus transportation. So we take the worry out of the planning for you. We got guaranteed campsites, and you're going to have guaranteed activities that you don't have to worry about. We're going to take care of all of that. You show up to the rally point, and we do all the rest.
Well, tell us where they are held. I mean, where do you do these tours?
We have caravans and rallies all across the United States, as well as in the Maritimes. Of course, we go to Alaska, we go to Mexico, and we also have a couple of overseas tours, one in Australia and New Zealand, and one in South Africa.
No, are those the New Zealand and South Africa? Are those in RVs?
They are. They're in rental RVs, which we provide the rental RV for you. They're smaller. They're the little small Class B plus camper RVs, but they are perfect for getting around, and you drive them everywhere on those tours.
Well, I think I'll have you sign me up for both Australia and South Africa. I would love to camp in both places.
Yeah.
That brings a question. What about those who are in Canada or overseas? What about health insurance? People always worry about that. Do they need to get extra health insurance for those countries?
Well, your health insurance will not cover you in those countries. Your United States policy will not cover you. So you do need to look into something like a travel insurance company, which we have a partner that on our someone books on our website that they can go through them, and they will provide medical reimbursement for issues that happen while you're on tour, or something like another SkyMed comes to mind. They have different programs, and so they'll want to look into a different program that will help cover any medical expenses while they are out of the country.
Got it. So how many people are typically involved in one of these caravan guided type tours?
On a caravan, we usually have no more than 25 rigs, and that includes the wagon master and the tail gunner, which is the leader. Wagon master is going to lead the tour, and the tail gunner is going to follow behind everybody else to kind of keep everybody on track, make sure if anybody breaks down on the side of the road, somebody sees them and stops and helps. And so usually 25, no more than 25 on a caravan. Our rallies, which are stationary and don't move around anywhere, can have anywhere from 25 rigs to our balloon rallies have 100
Wow.
rigs.
Yeah, but those aren't the guided tour type of ones.
Those are not. We do tours out off the site of that rally, but you don't move your RV once you get there.
Okay. Now, tell us what kind of RVs. Our audience, we're in everything from camper vans to huge Class A's. Is there any restrictions on the type of RVs involved in?
We only need it to be self-contained. A self-contained RV. We have people that will come. I mean, we do have occasionally people that will do a truck camper, but we go anywhere from the small, tiny Class Bs all the way up to the 45-foot diesel pushers with the towing of Chevy Tahoe behind them. So we go all the way. But obviously, there are some campgrounds that are a little more rustic than others. The Alaska and the Maritimes campgrounds are not like the lower 48 campgrounds, so they need to be prepared for that. We get everybody in, but sometimes it's tight.
Well, why would somebody want to do a guided tour like this? Many RVers are kind of independent. They're used to setting off on their own. Why would a tour like this appeal to somebody?
Well, the first reason is usually because there's safety in numbers. People want to go to Alaska or they want to go to the Maritimes, but it's a pretty big undertaking to travel from all the way from maybe Florida to Alaska. You got to, it's a pretty big trip just to get from Florida to the border of Canada to start going into to get up to the Alaska highway. So that's the number one reason is they're a little concerned. Maybe they don't want to deal with border crossings on their own. They don't know how, or they've never done it before, and they want somebody to show them how to do that. The second reason is because it takes the headache out. Usually in a couple, one person is the planner and one person is like, okay, tell me where we're going today, right? And so the planner for something as big as a 60-day tour to Alaska, that's a lot of campgrounds to make reservations for. And Alaska and the Maritimes and most of the places that we go, it's popular. It's hard to get a reservation. You might need to get a reservation a year in advance in order to be able to book. We Fantasy RV Tours, because we take so many tours through those areas, we have standing reservations booked out for 2 years already because our tours fill up 2 years in advance, and so we've already made the reservations for those tours, so you don't have to worry about not getting a spot and ending up dry camping somewhere because all the campgrounds were full when you got there.
You said it was kind of like a cruise, and I think of a cruise and all-inclusive vacations that people are used to, and that's kind of what these are like. Besides the campgrounds, is there anything, what else is provided? What about food?
Every tour is a little bit different, and you're going to get several meals while you're on the tour. It won't be every single meal while you're on the tour, but we do provide several. Sometimes it'll be a campground meal. That's not very often, but maybe if it's a long driving day and we don't really have time to get out and take everybody to a restaurant. But we'll have breakfast sometimes. Sometimes it's a lunch. Sometimes it's a dinner, depending on where we are and what is available. But a lot of times it might be a dinner show. It might be a dinner cruise if wherever we are, and so that would be included. All of the excursions will be included for you. If we say we're going to go to the White Pass train in Skagway, then we're going to make sure we get you there, and we're going to make sure we buy your ticket, and you're going to get on that train, and you're not responsible for any of that. So there will be some other optional activities. Like if a guest wants to do something on their own, of course, they're free to go and do something on their own. Of course, it would be at their expense. But if we're in an area, we'll give you a lot of the times we'll give you a free day in a certain area. If we're going to be there for 3 or 4 days, we'll show you around, tell you where to go, popular things to do, and then people kind of disperse and do their own thing if that's what they want to do.
Just in a kind of a related thing, the flexibility. Do you all have to travel together, or can you just say, hey, we're supposed to be at this place at this time, and whatever time you leave and however you get there, that's great for you.
On a traveling caravan, our wagon master they'll have a driver's meeting on the night before that they're going to drive somewhere, and they'll have a little meeting, and the wagon master will say, I'm going to leave here at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And the tail gunner is going to leave here at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can leave anytime between that time. If you would like the benefit of having the tail gunner behind you, then please make sure you've checked out and gotten on the road before 11 o'clock a.m. or whatever time they set for that. So we don't actually recommend that people drive nose to tail on a caravan. It blocks traffic, it creates a hazard, and it makes it hard to see wildlife or anything else that might be down the road. So we use family radio systems to communicate. Wagon master might see a bear on the road on the right hand side, so they radio back and they say, "Everybody, get ready to look! Bear on the right hand side." But it's people's vacation. We want them to enjoy their vacation, and they're not stuck to traveling exactly with us all the time. We're going to give them a very detailed trip log with our best routes. Sometimes it matches a GPS, sometimes not. We like to take a little more scenic route and show people something more than just the interstate sometimes. So we're going to give them that map. We're going to go over it, and we're going to say, now you guys can leave whenever you want.
And I would assume that the tail gunner at the back is the one who's going to, if you break down or something, there's somebody there who says, okay, well, there's a wrecker up ahead, or 2 miles away is a gas station, or there's a repair shop up here. And so you've got somebody that's aware of your situation.
Tail gunner's going to stop and help and make sure if they see somebody on the side of the road, they'll often develop some kind of signal. Like if you're just going to pull off and maybe eat lunch, then put the yellow, streamer around your mirror so that we know you're sitting there eating lunch and there's no need for us to stop and check on you. If you're broken down, put the red streamer out so that we know to stop and help you. And so tail gunner will stop, make sure that the guest has help on the way. Do what they can to help. They're not going to fix the rig. They're not going to try to touch the rig or fix the rig unless it's something really simple that, and him and the owner of the rig decide that they can, put it together to get them the next however far down the road. But they're not mechanics. So they're going to help. But the main thing is that we're going to stay with you until we know that help is on the way and make sure you're in a safe location. And then the tail gunner can move on once we know somebody is either en route or once somebody gets there to help. And then we stay in touch with the guest until they finally get back caught up with the tour.
Well, it sounds like you've thought of everything because you probably do this same tour several times a year. So you really are familiar. Well, I'm looking forward to trying it out. And I know we had so many questions since we started talking about it that it would be great to get you on and to get a quick idea of what these are like. So Stacy, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody this summer. And we're going to do the Maritimes in Canada and we'll probably do a bunch of live shots from there if we can get our satellite working, and we'll have a lot of fun.
We're really excited to have you and your group.